can't do it. You just can't do it.
You might as well face up to it, Judge. We've got to do it.
But you just don't do a thing like that to a man like Larson.
Judge, it's past the point of being sentimental about it.
John Larson's been a friend of mine for 37 years. He's a good man and the best sheriff this town ever had.
You can't go off into that again, Judge.
I'd like to remind you people of a few things. Most of you don't know what this town was like before John Larson came here. It was one of the wildest, most unhealthy towns in this whole state.
We're well aware of that, Judge.
But you all remember when the Quincy gang showed up around here, and you remember how John Larson cleaned them out, too.
Judge, that was 5 years ago. The point is, can he do it now?
All right, gentlemen.
Who's going to tell him?
All right, I suggest we all tell him.
He's riding up now.
Have you got the watch?
Yes. Let's go.
What a way to start the day.
From out of the West, Dick Powell's Zane Grey Theater.
Settlers traveling in the early West listed their hardships in the following order: the desert, Indians, and desert Indians. In the early part of the 19th century, 550,000 square miles of the West was desert. And to quote my old grandpappy, a man could look farther and see less than in any other place in the world. It was broiling hot in the daytime, freezing cold at night, and there were only 2 chances of getting rain: slim and none. Of course, all parts of the desert weren't covered with the same thing. Some of it had this white pottery-type gypsum, and of course, sand. And there was always jagged lava rock. Can you imagine walking across this stuff all day? Be like stomping through a briar patch with blisters on your toes. One of the most important commodities in the desert is water. Without it, a man can dehydrate and die of thirst within a few hours. Actually, though, the desert has plenty of water. It's just that most of it is around 2,000 feet underground. That's a pretty far piece to go for a drink. It takes a shovel with a mighty long handle. In the story we've chosen for you this week, Ride a Lonely Trail, a sheriff faces another kind of danger in the desert.
Quit circling around. Don't tell me all you dignitaries stopped work to come over here and talk to me about the price of beef. If you got something to say, go ahead and say it. Get it out of your system.
All right, Sheriff, we will. Now, we've all done a lot of thinking about this, and we've come to ask you not to run for re-election.
Why shouldn't I run?
Because you'll probably be reelected.
Well, I should hope I would.
John, since you won't think about yourself, it's up to us to do it for you.
What are you talking about?
What we've come to say, now, you're getting well on in years, John, and it's about time you started taking things a little easier.
You'd think I was 80 years old or something. Well, I've been doing a good job. And I'm going to continue doing a good job.
John, don't be stubborn. It's not just yourself you have to think about. You've got to think of the good of the town.
In other words, you're asking me to quit, huh?
John, we got together, bought this for you. Show you how much we appreciate what you've done for Rock Falls.
Got a magnifying crystal, Sheriff. Make it easier for you to read it.
Well, you folks really made up your mind, didn't you?
What we'd like to do is bring over young McClure from Whiteville.
McClure? Why, he's just a youngster, can't be a day past 30.
That's just the point of it, Sheriff.
This town ain't that quiet.
Well, sir, the 2 of them were sitting there arguing. These 2 desert rats.
Prospectors.
Yes, sir. Lem Hooker and Jesse Littlejohn. They was wrangling over a poke of nuggets. And then he come in.
And who come in?
Horse Daly come in. He says he's hungry and would I give him some grub if he done up the dishes for me.
You sure it was Daly?
Well, I ought to be able to recognize Horse Daly when I see him. I knew him before you sent him to prison.
Well, he come by looking for a job laying track. And I told him straight out I didn't want no cattle thieves in my crew.
And these two fellas, they started fighting. And Daly just sat there watching them.
Then what?
Well, then I had to go look to something on the stove. And I'd no sooner got to the kitchen when the shooting started.
You run out?
No, sir. I got back to the stove.
It was cooler, huh?
Yes, sir. Well, when I come out, Little John was laying there. And Hooker was gone, and Horse Daly was gone. I had me a vinegar jug sitting on the counter there, and he poured out the vinegar and took the jug.
That all?
That's all I seen.
Yeah. Anybody see him leave?
Somebody looked like Horse Daly went streaking by me, heading south, riding a buckskin horse.
Heading for the Badlands, huh? That's why he took the jug.
What are you going to do, Sheriff?
I'm going to go get him.
I'll ride in your posse, Mr. Larson.
Posse? What do I want with a posse?
Larson, you're not going to get him alone. He's one of the old Quincy crowd.
Look, when I track a man, I want him raising the dust.
When they get that old, you can't tell them a thing.
Retire, he says. Gold watch. I'll show him who's ready for gold watch. Here's where he stopped. Here's where he filled his jug. Here's where he turned off west. First water west from here would be Wolf Wells. Daly'd be keeping the cover. He'd be riding the gullies. Man to ride across country, get there darn sight quicker. Be there to meet him. And that's just what we're going to do, old-timer. You're covered, Daly. Who are you? You know me. We had dealings before.
Old John Larson?
Yeah, old John Larson.
Well, you're a long ways from town, Sheriff.
We'll make it back by nightfall, both of us. I'm taking you in, Daly, for gunning down that prospector.
You weren't figuring on blasting me out of here, were you?
No, son, I wasn't. I figured I could out-sit you. There ain't nothing like a nice hot sun to make a man thirsty. Daly! Did you ever have a run-in with a renegade Yaqui?
I'm glad to say the answer's no.
Real mean Injuns, them Yaquis. They won't kill a man. Not unless they have to.
What'd they do, talk him to death?
They get him in a pocket just like you're in. Then they watch him die. Of thirst. You know, Daly, I think I'll take a drink for you. Yes, sir. I believe I will. There's one thing I can tell about you, son. You ain't never seen a man die of thirst. That's why you should give yourself up before it happens to you.
I don't aim to hang for somebody else's killing.
Well, now, you don't mean to tell me a stranger come in and shot down Jesse Littlejohn?
It was the other fella shot him. I come between them to stop a fight.
Tell me about it, son.
I had to knock the other fella down. And that's when the little one come to. He drew his six-shooter and shot him where he lay.
So you just took the gold dust and walked away, that it?
It was the other fella took the gold dust and run. And when he run, I run.
Well, why should you run?
'Cause who's gonna believe a story like that? From me.
Well, I wouldn't, for one.
You know, it was right pitiful. Watching you trying to reach for your canteen of water. But I had to stand it much longer. I'd offered you a drink of mine.
Daly,
Yeah?
how long did you know that canteen was laying there?
I saw it when it slipped down.
You could have plugged it any time you wanted?
I reckon that's the difference between me and them Yankee Indians of yours. I don't like to see a man die of thirst. Maybe that's why you're the sheriff and I ain't.
You knowed me a good many years now, ain't you?
Knowed you will, Sheriff.
Knowed me for a man of my word, ain't that right?
Never heard no different.
But I don't believe you killed that man. Else you would have shot up that canteen of mine when you had the chance.
So?
So I ain't gonna take you back to a sure hanging. I tell you what. You throw your gun out and I'll throw mine. And then we'll sit down and talk it over where the water's cooler.
Sheriff. I thought you'd be riding the other way.
Ain't sure I know your name, mister.
I'm Lem Hooker, Mr. Larson.
Where you heading, Mr. Hooker?
Same place as you. Looking for the boy who killed my partner.
What are you aiming to do with him when you find him?
Get me a sack full of gold dust, which he took off of me.
Step back away from that burro, Mr. Hooker. Now, where's your holster with that pistol?
Pistol?
Yeah.
I don't carry no pistol. I use this.
That the only firearm you're carrying?
It's the only thing I ever did pack. My daddy gave it to me when I left home.
Well, how come Daly said...
You trying to tell me that you seen Daly, you talked to him, and you let him get away? You wouldn't do that, would you? They say you was a good man in your day, but your day's long gone. When you get old, like you are, you get slow, your eyes don't see too good, and...
And what?
I wouldn't tell you this, except you let a killer walk out on you. But I think your brain's getting ossified. Well, you done it and undone it. Now I'm gonna do it my way. I'm gonna hunt him down. And he won't get away from me.
Now, let me tell you something, Mr. Hooker. I'm still sheriff. And if I made a mistake, I'm the one to take care of it. So you just go on about your business. You understand?
to go much further, I'm going to have to carry you, old-timer. You had to have camped at Indian Hole. Wouldn't stay there past sunup. Then on up through Devil's Run. Come out ahead. Yes, sir. You gotta take it real slow and easy. Real slow and easy. He's the kind that rides looking over one shoulder. Slow and easy, boy. Well, there ain't enough for me to surround him. Guess I'm gonna have to make him surround himself. Chickens in the coop and ain't no way for them to go but out. Then I'll be waiting for them.
Morning, neighbor.
Poor boy, he don't know whether he got me or not. And I got him.
Hey, Larson?
Let him holler.
Where are the Indians, Larson? Tell me about them.
Tell him nothing.
You still out there?
Why don't you come out and find out? Nice weather we're having.
Miss me, you old reptile!
Yeah? You sound out of breath. You been running or something?
Why don't you join me, old-timer? It's nice and shady in here.
Yeah. Enjoy it while you can.
I will. I got the shade, the jug, the belt full of cartridges. We'll last, John. You got nothing but the hot sunshine.
Times are working for him. Gotta find some way to speed it up. There is a way. One way to get a skunk out.
You going crazy, old-timer?
Still braying like a jackass. You'll see. Get too close to that fire, and you have to get your hair singed permanent. Too bad that shaft caved in last year. Only runs in about 10 or 15 feet. All right, Danny, come on out. Throw your gun out first. The end of the road. That's enough, Dave. I've arrested many a man in my day, but I never enjoyed it before. This time, young fella, I do. Now get. This is it, Daly. Home at last.
Splendid job, Mr. Larson.
Just a routine capture. By this time, there ain't nothing to it no more.
John, I just want you to know that...
No use, Judge. I will not run.
But you're the best sheriff we ever had, Larson. We want you to stay sheriff as long as you will.
No, sir.
John, we're asking you to reconsider.
No, I've been sheriffing too many years now. Now's your chance to break in somebody new. Of course, if things get too tough for him, I'll be around to give him a hand. Question about it. The peak of a man's form. It's the time to quit.